I'm ready to tell you guys the story of how Fallout 76 was created. This was around about 2013, 2014. I was very, very good friends with Todd Howard. I worked in game sales at the GameStop. And every day Todd Howard would come in and he'd say, "Mr. Catman, what's the good news today?" And I say, "Well, Mr. Todd Howard, we have your next port of Skyrim." And he'd always say, "Mr. Catman, it's not a port, it's a remaster." And I said, "Okay, whatever you say, Mr. Howard." And one day he came in and he had this look on his face, like, "Oh no, but looked like he was gonna throw up." And I said, "Mr. Howard, Mr. Todd Howard, what's going on today? What's wrong today?" And he said, "Oh, all the dumb executives at ZeniMax, they want an online Fallout game because the Elder Scrolls Online has been doing so good." And I said, "Oh, okay. I guess that's good news. Why are you looking so down?" And he said, "They want us to make it." And I said, "No." I said, "No, I couldn't say no to them. I said no to my team. You cannot say no to the ZeniMax executives. They will fire you, and then I'll have to go work at Ubisoft or EA making sports titles. And the only sport I like is hockey and college basketball, and EA refuses to make college basketball games." And I said, "Can we get back on track, Mr. Howard?" And he said, "Oh yeah, I don't want to make an online Fallout game." I said, "Well, can't you get another team to do it like you did with the Elder Scrolls Online?" And they said, "Well, no, because we already have a WoW clone with Elder Scrolls Online." And we thought, hey, Mr. Todd Howard, game director of such great hits as Skyrim and Skyrim Special Edition, he would probably make a great online game. And Todd Howard was thinking, he said he was thinking, "No, I hate online games. I hate them, and you have to do all these weird things to make people keep playing." And I said, "Well, wait a second, Mr. Howard, I got a great idea. If you don't want to make it, just make it so that they won't want to have it." And he said, "Mr. Catman, how would I do that?" Oh, I said, "Oh, simple. Just tell them that it will just cost so much to make. And don't tell them that it costs too much. Just say, oh, it's going to cost $1 billion to make it or something. You know, something. Do something. You would know your ZeniMax executives best. So say something that you know that they would say no to." And Todd said, "Well, every time I ask to expand the team, they say no because you keep making games and they sell, so you can't get a bigger team. And you can't get a bigger team until your game's not selling." And I said, "Well, hey, there you go. Just tell them you need like 4 more teams to make your Fallout Online game." And he said, "Thanks, Mr. Catman. Hey, what's that up there?" "Oh, that's a Skyrim Special Edition for the PlayStation 4. Todd said, "Huh." So the next day he comes in. He looks like a big turd. I said, "Oh no, Mr. Howard, what happened?" "So I took your advice," he said, "Mr. Catman. I told them that if we were going to make an online Fallout game, they would need to at least double my team." And they said, "Okay." And he said, "You guys just like that, double my team?" And I said, "Yeah, of course. Why?" And then Todd said, "Well, actually, I was kind of lowballing it there. I actually need to triple the team." And then they said, "Yeah, okay, we can do that." And then Todd, oh man, he looked really down. He looked really, really down. I said, "Well, gee, isn't that great that you had such a big team?" And Todd said, "No, because then I'll have to make the online Fallout game. I don't want to do that with any size team." And I said, "Okay, go back to them and you tell them you need even more." And Todd said, "Thank you, Mr. Catman. I will do that presently." And then I said, "Todd, that's not how you use that word." And he said, "Thank you, Mr. Catman." Next day, Todd comes in, and he's, And I said, "Oh no, Mr. Todd, what happened?" And Todd Howard said, "I told them I would need 5 more teams to make the Fallout game." And they said, "Yes. How many people?" And I said, "Well, 150. And he said, "Sounds good to me." And so now we've got like 6 teams of 1,000 developers working on this online game. And I don't want to do it. And I said, "All right. So we've tried to go big, and you know what? We weren't able to go home. So let's go in the opposite direction. You tell them that you suck at online games. You just suck. And then Todd said, "Hey, that's a good idea, because I suck at regular games, so I must be terrible at online games." Next day he comes in. This time he's got a big smile on his face. He says, "Hey, Mr. Catman, guess what? I don't have to make online Fallout anymore." I said, "That's great. So what's your next game?" And he said, "An online Fallout game." And I said, "Wait a second, Mr. Todd. You said you're not making an online Fallout game." He said, "I'm not. Another team is. One of those teams they got for me to make online Fallout. Just getting it to them." And I and the thing is, they think that because they've made online games before, that they're going to be able to pump this thing out really fast. And you should have just heard them screaming. They said, "No, we can't do this in 3 years. It's impossible. We're going to need like 5 at least." And then me, as in Todd Howard says, and me being the little turd I am, I said, "Well, why don't you just reuse all the assets from Fallout 4? And that just made all the ZeniMax executives' hair just stand on end. And said, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And everybody's on the phone screaming, "No, that's not going to do it. That's not where all the time comes from. Making an online game." And that's the story of how Fallout 76 came to be.